No.
So, therefore, I retract my statement, and the conversation will end here. I appreciate
you dumb motherfucker, holy shit. This is FNGR, and today we're talking about a gentleman that we streamed with back in November 26th, 5 p.m. Central Time, Spectrum Heat. I have attempted to clear this matter up previously with Spectrum face-to-face, which, by the way, involves Spectrum Heat overcoming a tummy ache, don't you know? Going by Spectrum Heat's own message, let's read this off. I never did try to date Cotton. Yes, I had feelings for her. This is a 13-year-old he's talking about, and cared for her very much, but as soon as I found out that she was 13, I backed off because that's fucked up. I still cared for her and stuff, but we sorta drifted apart. I never said he was 20 plus, I said he was an adult, which he is. He is dating a minor, which is disgusting and messed up. And as far as what Cotton will say, I have no idea. Probably do her best to defend Starless and say whatever lies and slander she can to try and get this all to blow over. This was a statement another owner put on to Discord themselves. I copy-pasted it in other places as well as my own personal statement on the kind of person that Starless is. I ask you please respect my privacy and keep me anonymous. I've dealt with enough drama lately, and I'm also moving tomorrow, so I'd like to keep stress to a minimum. If the story simply would have ended here, then this wouldn't be up on my channel right now. Full disclosure, I do not like Spectrum Heat. I feel I say this a couple of times throughout this video, but I want to be completely clear. The individual, Starless, aka Mooney, claims Spectrum Heat was interested in him at some point in time. Mooney is currently dating a girl named Cotton. There seems to be a 4-year age gap. I'm not going to tell my audience if that is okay or not. In some states it's okay, in others perhaps less so. My issue with this, to you Spectrum, for whatever issues that you have with Mooney, Spectrum should have moved on by now. I'm going to give an abridged on how this all was handled. The first timestamp from the original podcast is 44 minutes 26 seconds.
So, my definition of pedophilia is when a adult
What's an
or
adult?
someone close to an adult, someone over the age of 18 or close to the age of 18.
Do you have proof that he is?
If I'm not mistaken, he stated that he is. And
he said that he is almost 18, yes.
Okay, so that's that. When someone who is almost an adult or an adult conducts in sexual acts with a prepubescent teenager.
Do you have proof of this sexual acts?
14 is not prepubescent.
Yeah, really.
So you mean to tell me that if an almost 18-year-old...
Listen to me, my guy.
Wait.
You listen to me for 1 second. You have a serious problem with 17-year-olds dating 14-year-olds?
By the way, I think prepubescent is like 12.
A junior and a senior in high school? You think this is pedophilia? Are you kidding me?
More of a sophomore.
Are you joking?
Yeah,
when I was a freshman in high school, I was 15.
More of a sophomore.
But anyways, that's
shit. I was like
besides the point.
If anyone has any previous evidence of Spectrum Heat going around and trying to micromanage relationships around the age gaps of 14 to 17 or 14 to 18 or hell even younger, I would be all ears, be they ones that he was directly involved with, and believe me, we would like to hear very much about that. Or any situation along the lines where he wasn't directly involved. As to remove any impropriety of his actions, my comments are open down below.
I understand that some people would have their own beliefs as far as what the age gap should be when it comes to dating. And, you know, everybody's entitled to their own opinion.
Spectrum, can I ask a quick question?
Sure, go ahead.
Is this specifically because you believe that consistently or because you have your bug up your ass about fucking Dark Moon?
I believe it consistently.
Okay. I just want to make sure.
The problem
it's just my personal belief that if a adult or near adult person is dating a minor...
Is this, when you say personal,
young,
is that based off of legal, spiritual, or medical?
Spiritual.
Okay.
I'm just going to say...
His personal definition. It's
well,
personal.
since Step fell asleep at the wheel there, what religion?
I'm a Christian.
Okay. Which one?
Southern Baptist Christian.
Now, I'm not here to debate spirituality of my core beliefs and say that they're better than Spectrum Heat's. They totally are. But we're here to keep this man consistent.
As I was saying earlier, I understand that the big picture, it's a gray area. It really is. You know, I understand that a lot of people feel that it should be okay that a 14-year-old can date a 17-year-old. And there are a lot of people who feel that it shouldn't be okay. I am one of those people that feel that it should not be okay.
I was under the impression a gray area, a area you yourself have acknowledged as messy, unclear, was something you shouldn't waffle between absolute certainty and maybe not, depending on who's watching you at the time, on what you're saying and doing. I have a question here. If you were brought into court and Dark Moon sued your ass, you'd still stand up in front of a judge and be like, I think he's a pedophile, sir.
That's a good question.
The 4 is for a libel, basically, I think, right?
Libel per se, comments that are inherently slanderous.
Yeah. I mean, here's the thing. You acknowledge the gray area of this. Well, wouldn't you also acknowledge that maybe it's kind of, I want to say dangerous, but it's not quite that, but I'll use that word anyways. Don't you think that it's irresponsible, let's use that word, for you to go on the public space and say things like, this guy's a pedophile, when, frankly, your view of pedophilia, as far as I'm concerned, is really not a common interpretation. I don't think a lot of people professionally or just in general would see a 17-year-old dating a 14-year-old to be indicative of pedophilia, at least by psychology standards, at least by these sorts of things. So do you shut up? I'm still talking. Do you recognize the harm that you could be doing to somebody's reputation socially by saying things like that?
Yes, I'm fully aware of that because.
And you're fine with it.
No. Hold on. I'm not sure if you guys have kept tabs on the kind of person that I am, but a while ago in February, accusations were made against me for a similar sort of conduct that never happened, and there was no proof that any of it happened, where people continued to say that I was 17 and was dating a 15-year-old when I've never dated anybody under the age of 16.
Okay.
Spectrum Heat stated that he'd be comfortable going into a court of law calling Mooney a pedophile. That's Starless. Mooney, if you're watching this, if Spectrum Heat wasn't so financially destitute, we'll get into that. There's over 11 plus instances of him e-bigging on Twitter, not including any of the GoFundMe or Patreon shots. I decided to leave those out. I don't know, perhaps Spectrum Heat actually offers something for his services on Patreon, and I wasn't sure if he was soliciting for someone else's GoFundMe. I gave him the benefit of the doubt because I had enough screenshots. But with over 11 plus instances of him e-begging on Twitter, it might not have been a bad idea to sue Spectrum Heat if he wasn't so destitute. From a perspective of a layperson who's not practiced in law, I would be super curious to see what Heat's legal defense would have been. Were you ever interested in Dark Moon?
Well, hold on.
Was I ever interested in Dark Moon? No.
Yeah. Okay. What about Cotton?
What about Cotton? Yeah.
No.
No. Okay. That's different. No, hold up there. Your DM suggests.
I had said. Let me get to that. I specifically said that when me and Cotton became friends, I had grown attached to the person that she is. When I found out that she actually was 13, provided that the screenshot that I showed somebody, I think I showed you, I can't remember, where I asked her, and I specifically said, you don't act 13. You really don't. You really absolutely don't. I was genuinely confused about how old she really was because she was drawing porn, and I was confused. I asked her if she was actually 13. She said that she is, and from that moment on, I had backed off, and I stopped feeling any sort of feelings like that. I guess I'm not entirely sure how to put that into words.
Hey, well, that's an interesting light switch you have right there. In your own words, you have a mental attachment to someone with the mental capacity of a 13-year-old, or was it 12? My memory isn't so good, and I keep hearing different stories. It's one of those gray areas, Spectrum, and maybe if we handled this issue like you have, maybe people might consider making accusations about you all willy-nilly. But that might be negligent and reckless.
I'm gonna bring us back because we're going on now about how you were accused of things. look, we defend you too in that instance. We would agree if there's no evidence to say
There
that
was
you
no
did
evidence.
something. Well, great. Then we would defend you. What's your fucking point?
The point I'm trying to make here is the way I see the situation, someone who is technically an adult at the age that Starless is, if he were to be, arrested for something like this, he would be tried as an adult in a United States court. And I know he lives in the United States. But continuation on from that, hold on.
I noticed you had us kick him out so he couldn't actually state whether this was legal in his state or not.
Yeah,
The
why did you
federal
want
law,
us to
the
kick
federal
him out?
age of consent is 18.
For having
go on.
sex,
Federal
yes.
law. Anyway.
Spectrum Heat did have us remove Dark Moon, so Mooney was unable to respond in the call. Mooney and Cotton aren't having sex, to the best of my knowledge. I'm open to see any kind of evidence to the contrary.
So you said that your viewpoint on what is and isn't pedophilia comes from your theology, correct? Yes or no?
Yes.
All right, tell me what scripture.
Script. Oh, I didn't mean. Okay, I didn't mean it came from my
If it's
religion.
not something you argue, if it's not something you're pointing directly to Bible from, is it something that God's communicated to you directly?
It is. Personally, I feel that an almost adult dating a minor is fucked up, and getting.
All right, then let me break this down to you
porn.
from a spiritual. Let me break this down to you
You're
from
a
a
fucking
spiritual level.
Puritan, dude. You're a fucking Puritan.
If God is pressing something on your heart, the Bible specifically talks about from the writings of Paul that there are some people that cannot eat meat that is sacrificed to idols. That's something God's putting on you. That's not something God expects you to put on other people. Secondly, you are accusing this man of pedophilia. That is bearing false witness. And then I hear you here to take the Lord's name in vain. So what type of Baptist are you, son? You don't understand morality. You don't understand scripture. You run your mouth like a complete and utter goon. So what are you?
The thing is, most people will reject your definition. We reject it. You're absurd, and you're dangerous. You say things about people online. That's dangerous, dude.
There are.
You're hurting their reputation, and you can.
people
No, Sheldon, I want my
who
answer.
agree with what I'm talking about right now. The fact that this man is a danger to this 14-year-old.
You
boy.
haven't proved it. You haven't proved that. You haven't proved that.
I don't
You haven't
care
proved
about
anyone.
your argument about populism. I want an answer
The
to my
point
question.
is,
Okay,
this man.
answer Leo's question.
Yes, talk down to us a little bit more. Go a little slow and raise the cadence of your voice.
Hold on.
I'm not trying to talk down to you. I'm trying to talk so people can hear me because everybody's talking at once.
Well, go
Can we
ahead.
please,
Answer
like,
Leo's
shotgun
question.
this shit or something?
Oh my god.
I never said I viewed it from a religious standpoint. I view it at an ad. Now, don't interrupt me, please.
Go ahead.
An adult or nearly an adult dating someone who is underage, more specifically under the age of 15, over the internet, and getting porn drawn of each other's characters and talking sexual to each other is not okay. Is 100% not okay. It is considered grooming, and it is against the law in the United States of America.
You totally
Well, I
said
believe it's
religiously at the
against the
beginning.
law if he's 18, not if you're almost 18.
In the United States, people who are near the age of 18 can be tried as an adult and most likely will be tried as an adult if the crime deems sustainable.
Okay, so let me hit you with this. The law is based on examples. Do you have a legal precedent in any of the 50 states,
Yeah.
more importantly, from Dark Moons?
I was just going to say, like, what law are you citing here? What are you...
It's a good question.
Yeah, could you tell me which law school? Was it Harvard or Yale? Was it Brown? Could you tell me where your
More
fucking law degree
importantly,
came from?
You literally just lied to us because you said this came from spiritual. You didn't cite law. You said it was spiritual. And then when I stabbed that down, then you want to change the goalpost here, son. Now, I will agree. It is inappropriate and it is gross for
Yeah, I
children
agree.
to adopt sexual imagery of each other or their OCs or sending text or whatever you want to call it. However, the argument you're making here is fallacious from every single other viewpoint. You want to say, I find that gross? Fine. But there's a difference between you finding it gross and it being illegal. Now, if you want to say the case precedent, you're more than welcome to. But so far, you've lied to us, you haven't been able to back anything up, and you have no evidence to your claims of this man specifically being a pedophile, which were the words you used.
Spectrum Heat hasn't been able to provide any evidence to back up his claim that they are. one more time on what Spectrum Heat cited for his problem with all of this. Is this, when you say personal, is that based off of legal, spiritual, or medical?
Spiritual.
Spectrum Heat attached his religion, which he did not defend, when he failed to attempt to vaguely allude to law without citation. He simply said that it was a federal matter and expected us to shut up. Now, I'm far from thrilled with Mooney or Cotton's relationship. I feel a huge feeling of apprehension about the whole matter. But it makes me feel twice as uneasy when a 20-something-year-old is trying to get involved with a 13-year-old's relationship when he's already been a little too close to that girl to begin with, if you know what I'm saying. Spectrum, I suspect the only reason, and this is just a theory, you're still watching over Cotton because you're trying to claim dibs when she comes of age. I think you're an orbiter. And all you have to do to prove me wrong is move the fuck on. It's one thing to be a creepy stalker ex to someone. It's a whole nother matter when that ex is a 13-year-old.
No, this man knew exactly what he was trying to do here, and he fell flat on his face.
And what exactly was I trying to accomplish?
You have a hate boner for this motherfucker.
Because you got to hang up.
Honestly, no, dude, I could give two shits about what Starless does. He isn't involved in my fucking life. But when I'm browsing the internet,
I said you had to hang up on this dude.
When I am browsing the fucking internet, and I see one of my past friends getting porn and all this shit, and knowing the kind of person that Starless used to be towards all these other fucking people, it's not fucking right, and I'm gonna stand up for it.
It's okay.
Then you told their parents, you idiot!
I got a question here real quick. You said you're that kind of person, so is this the first time that you've gone after a pedophile?
To this
Dead air!
To this stance, yes. This is the first time that I've gone this far.
This is your lead out.
What a goof.
God. What a fine coincidence. Dear Spectrum Heat, there is a wealth of predators that have come through the Brony fandom. If you are serious in assisting with any of those matters, if you step up your game and clean up your act, it might be possible for you to improve your win-loss record in this matter. Or is it just likely this was an excuse for you to try and weaponize a serious tool used to protect kids and inform adults to keep children safe in our community so that you could go into business for yourself? Oh, don't quit your day job, son. Speaking of day jobs, let's read off all those e-begging tweets, courtesy of Spectrum Heat. There'll be some extra tweets that I include here at the back end that are mostly me just being and having a, I find them interesting or amusing because I've told you to move on, Spectrum, so I feel like you deserve a little bit of a nudge. I just want to eat. This is a request for 98 cents. Feed me, please. My Windows was corrupted, and I can't install a new copy without a flash drive, so if anyone wants to help me out, if anyone wants to help me get a 16-bit USB from the store tomorrow, please let me know. I'm absolutely shooken up. I need this so I can get my files back. Here's the fourth image. I'm broke. Can someone send me like $10 PayPal? I'll be able to pay them back when my PS4 sells. I just need it ASAP so my bank doesn't get overdrawn tomorrow. Just anyone aside on this January 22nd post, if anyone loaned Spectrum Heat and didn't get paid back, please comment down below. I'm tired of entertaining endless giveaways for cash or PayPal. Can someone just give me money so I can eat? This is alluding to Spectrum Heat retweeting several people basically promising him to pay him out for retweets. You know, those scam posts on Twitter. We're up to 7. If that's more your thing, I honestly need this right now. I couldn't read out some of the garbled whatnot up there, so it's on screen. We're up to 8. So, like, my fucking bank is retarded. Yes, it's the bank's fault. And let PayPal try to take money even though I don't have money in my account. So now, every 3 days, my account goes more negative by $32 unless I pay the negative balance and the fees of the item trying to go through PayPal. I'm hurting right now. Might I remind you that this gentleman doesn't have a job? We're up to 9. Our promotion is still going on, but basically, TLDR, if you donate $20 to help support my server, you'll get an amazing piece of artwork from our server artist. Check it out. Why couldn't you just pay the money directly to the artist and not you? I mean, the artist would actually be doing something, I suppose. Page 10. I'm trying to purchase Discord Nitro Classic as a gift for my server. Shh. It's a surprise giveaway. Don't tell anyone. Don't tell them. But the card I'm using continues to get declined. It's a virtual Visa card that has $5 on it. Is there anyone out there that can help me? And here's 11 and 12. I'm really hungry. Anyone want to help me out? Goes to buy food. Card gets declined. Checks bank balance, negative $35. Goes back home to eat. No food. Fuck my life. I just found this little thing here on dating I felt like reading off here. Spectrum Heat, perks of dating me. You won't feel used. You do strike me as the kind of person who'd ask for money for it to eat. You won't feel used. You'll be loved and treated like a queen every day of our relationship. We'll watch movies and talk all night and day long. I'll be your shoulder to cry on. We can play Minecraft together. Of course it's Minecraft. And I'll actually cook you food. What food? With what money? Let's see, what's this poor person on the here that they're hitting on? I like to chill out and relax. We can draw together, keep you warm on a winter night. I'm making coffee with one of my favorite. You know what? Whatever.
No, I have another question. Why? Okay, so we're dealing with people who are legally not considered adults. One is specifically 14. So tell me, why is it your response is to blast them on the internet as opposed to finding out where their mommy and daddies are and calling them and say, hey, your kid's doing dumb stuff on the internet. Maybe you should look into that. Because
how the fuck am I going to find out who their parents are?
Hey, I ain't done yet. You can answer in a moment. Because the intelligent individual is able to find these things out and do the proper thing instead of trying to make a complete and utter clown of himself like you have, ringleader.
Yeah, no, let me do another one here. Well, hold it. You're 20 and you're fucking terrified to talk to a 17-year-old. Why?
Weakness.
Why?
I think we're jumping.
Yes, motherfucker. I want to know why.
Hold on.
Because every single time that I have any sort of social interaction with this person, regardless of it talking over a voice chat, him joining a Discord server, it has always resulted in conflict. Period.
What'd you think was going to happen in here?
Right now.
So somehow, some way, a 17-year-old at the time was going to be more scary than myself, Shelly D, Leo Convoy, Hateful Tate, so forth and so on. I've talked to Mooney. He's very soft-spoken. He has all the offense, with all due respect, of a wet noodle. I had a call with him that I'm going to put up on Fan and Frenzy soon after this matter between himself and some of my peers. Mooney is easily one of the least scary people that I have ever talked to. I don't mean that in an offensive way, but feel free to be offended if you really want to. You only came in this goddamn call when people started throwing you out of fucking rooms.
Well, I already knew he was throwing
My boy here in
contradictions,
chat
Leo,
squaring up.
when I was talking with him in DMs, and I asked him what is your relationship with these two, and this was after he sent me the screenshots, and he says Starless and me have been mortal enemies. He's always out to manipulate people and fuck with their heads. I'm against this, so we hate each other basically. And Cotton and I used to be friends until they started drawing porn of our OCs. I played it off as normal at first until I found out she actually was 13. So I asked her to stop and we ceased contact. Then I sent him the tweet posts and I asked him, if you stopped contact with Cotton after learning of her age, why are there still instances of her making art for you and communicating with her on Twitter?
The pictures were posted after.
The moment Spectrum Heat got kicked out of the chat by Derpy Hooves VA, his tummy ache, miracle of miracles, cleared up.
It's like instances where you guys are in direct conversation with each other on threads. So it means you didn't stop contacting her.
I can't exactly remember what I said to you word for word.
Well,
Yeah,
there's
it's almost
the
like
DMs.
keep up
I
with.
mean, I could look up the threads.
I said when I say cease contact, I never said we stopped talking completely.
How the fuck does that make any sense?
What does cease contact even
when
mean?
I said I was going to keep my virginity, I meant we would only have sex occasionally.
Jeez.
You see how stupid that
Strange
sounds?
definition of pedophilia, strange definition of cease contact. I mean, this guy's fucking bizarre. Doesn't make any
Are you actually a Baptist? Yes or no?
I am a Christian.
Spectrum Heat, a layperson, isn't supposed to be handing out citations of legal law, and you're a prime example why. You have no fucking idea what you're talking about. On top of that, why did you try and hide the fact that you're still talking with a 13-year-old when you clearly said that you would stop? Quick question though, why was I thrown out of your chat? What the fuck did I do wrong in there?
Well, I just want to hear what's the relevancy of Hatter exactly.
Hold on.
Spectrum.
Hold on.
How hard is it to answer a question?
Literally, I'm looking
Hatter-
at the message.
Hatter
Holy fuck,
is
this guy should
someone-
do me. I really need more hate on my stuff from Hatter.
It sounds like
I don't even know you. Why in the world would I grill you?
Hatter is someone who knows someone like me, the thing I've been talking about for the past 30 minutes, knows the kind of person that Starless has been, and probably has proof of the things that he's done.
Okay, well,
listen. We're going to establish two things. Just listen. Number one, we do not give a shit about anecdotes. We don't care. But if he has proof, then sure, absolutely.
Do you have some
Cool,
screenshots?
in the call. It's
Or
5
some
minutes.
audio? You know, OBS is really easy to use. Even an idiot
You
like
could
me
just
can
have
use it.
Watching
DM
the
you
stream.
proof.
He's watching the stream, and he is messaging me. 1 second.
Yeah,
I don't know how
nobody
much.
cares about
I
that.
don't
We
know why
actually
you
do
can't.
that.
Like, if you got a screenshot from him, you can put it in the chat. You could take those
True.
chubby little sausages you have, type it on your fucking keyboard, and put it in the chat.
Go to church.
And yes, this was well over a month ago, and this proof has not materialized. So Spectrum Heat threw me out of his room, kept Rouge, my girlfriend, who's not exactly a huge Spectrum Heat fan either. Kind of makes you wonder, our little fedora-tipping r/nice guy. I can only wonder what freaking possible motivation that you had for that. You have nothing. Go ahead.
Which it's not
I
hard.
made an accusation, okay? I made an accusation stating that someone who was 17, nearly an adult, I have no fucking clue at this point, was dating a
I want to
13
drill you
or
right in the fucking
14-year-old
mouth.
girl, a 14-year-old girl who just turned 14, not even a month ago. But apparently, that is not pedophilia, even if they conduct in sexual acts with each other. It is not
No.
pedophilia.
Did you say insexual?
Because pedophilia describes. Here's the thing. If a 16-year-old is attracted to a 14-year-old, and the 14-year-old in fact has juvenile characteristics as a 14-year-old would, is the 16-year-old a pedophile?
No.
That's a 2-year age difference.
Also, what is this?
That's not
What does it matter? That's your
hold on.
argument, dude. It doesn't matter. Your argument is this. It is that this guy, he is attracted to juvenile human characteristics sexually. That is what a pedophile is. Do you understand? That is a state of somebody's mind and their sexual preferences.
All right, well, look. I made an accusation, and based on the information provided,
Ooh, 100 people watching.
the accusation is apparently not true, because apparently the acts that were being carried out between these two individuals is not considered pedophilia.
No.
That sounded like a slam dunk right there. That sounded like Spectrum Heat took the L. Do you know what Spectrum Heat did later on? I'm sure I've read this off before, but here goes one more time. This is a screen capture by Cindy. The people I know, all they need is a Discord ID and a username and a couple of days. But don't worry, it takes a lot to get me to do some dumb shit. Don't tell anyone, but let's just say the last person to make me snap had an unwelcome visit from the SWAT team. I know people. I'm not someone to fuck with. I'm still waiting. Bravo, Spectrum. I'm all ears to hear anyone's complaints about Spectrum Heat till the heat death of the union.
So, therefore, I retract my statement, and the conversation will end here. I
Yeah,
appreciate-
Congratulations.
Oh, God,
I appreciate-
You dumb motherfucker, holy shit.
I
Wait, hang on.
appreciate.
Well,
The
here, listen.
consideration-
No, guys. Thanks for retracting it. Seriously. Thank you.
I
Yeah.
retracted my statement.
That's great. Cool.
You've done more than Obab.
You have done more than Scribbler has, indeed.
Holy shit.
I mean, I'm still gonna mock you endlessly for it.
Yeah, you're still a
No,
fan.
all that. No,
No.
just to put you at ease, if we find out more about DM, you have into the heat death of the universe to come forward more. We'll be glad to say we were wrong, but based off of the information we have right now, that's just the way it is.
If
So,
I come across more proof or information or evidence
Okay.
regarding this subject, I will kindly direct message you the information. However,
Great.
at this time, I currently do not have the means to access any sort of evidence, nor do I have any evidence on file or in my computer or anything like that regarding the subject. Therefore, I am retracting my statement at this time and will continue to speak.
Okay.
All right, so
We'll
here, let me.
continue that
Cool.
I want to.
consider that
I
as
want
learning
to. Like, as
experience.
angry and pissed off as I was, Spectrum. For example, you know about the shit that went down at BronyCon, right?
I believe so. About the guy.
The first time when they came up to me and said it was between someone who was 16 and 20, I'm like, okay, that's certainly someone abusing their position in their post. I don't know if that's exactly pedophilia. And then later on, the next girl was 15, 14. I'm like, okay, good, perfect. I was glad to look into it. If you have some kind of situation where DM or here is basically throwing his weight around and trying to take advantage of somebody who's like 14 or what have you, via I can't think of an example right now. Has anybody got something? Because he's an artist. What would an artist or what does DM do? I don't even know.
I think he just runs a cringy porn server.
Okay.
It better
So
be.
he's basically cloudy.
Okay, so if you find out, if we
commits
find out that basically he's like, you know, using like, hey, you better do this for me, regardless of age, or I'll throw you out of my porn server. Yeah,
Anthony,
we'll have a fucking problem with DM.
Anthony, I sent you something.
One thing real quick.
I want to read it to Spectrum.
Where is it? Oh,
I DM'd it to you.
Okay, let's take a look at it. Let's see.
One thing though, real quick. You brought up a dude named Beta earlier.
Beta is a girl.
Here, hold it. I gotta read
chat.
this off real quick. Archer, give this to FNGR. Federal law makes it criminal to engage in sexual acts with another person who is between the ages of 12 and 16 if you are at least 4 years younger than you. So it will shut up Spectrum as this is the law. I don't know that for a fact. I don't.
Listen, as I have stated, at this time, I will retract my statement. I apologize for any sort of inconvenience that I may have caused anybody here, considering that this has probably been a huge waste of time. As I have stated,
No, not really.
Not for me.
If I come across any extra evidence regarding this sort of discussion,
I think this part speaks for itself. He never came forward with anything else. In fact, he has me blocked on Twitter. In fact, he was going to report my Twitter account. Though, to be fair, I said I wasn't going to leave him alone. And that's true. I'm not.
I met Beta through Starless, back when me and Starless used to be friends.
Oh, here comes the bus.
And then Beta had came to me one day talking about how she was betrayed. She felt backstabbed. And she explained the situation to me that her and Starless did things in calls together. Yes, consensually between the both of them.
What's the age difference?
Beta, I honestly don't know.
How old is Starlight?
So, no, hold on. You were willing to chase this down. You were prepared to chase this to the fucking ends of the earth here.
Let me finish.
Wait a second.
I think you are.
DM was saying he was 15 at this time.
And how old was fucking Plague or whatever goofy ass name is? Beta. How old was
23 to 23 or 22.
You cunt.
Wow.
You have a nice defense force here, buddy.
You fucking cunt.
Beta had asked Starless not to go.
Hold on, let
Talk about a double standard.
Beta had told Starless not to do it again. And on my old Discord account, I think I have chat logs between the two of them stating that Starless was threatening to tell her boyfriend about this if she didn't do it with him again.
Can I have a quick question? Why do you have an old Discord? Like, is there some reason that you had to get the fuck away from it?
I had like 500 friends on it, and I got tired of looking through.
That's sad.
What's the name of the account?
Well, hang on, Anthony.
Huh?
We got about 100 people watching according to Steps, so I want to know what the name of the account is.
Star is saying that he got chased out.
Okay. So a couple things here, Spectrum. Had an account with 500 people attached to it where he allegedly got chased off. I'm all ears to hear about that, by the way. As for Moon, or Mooney, or Starless, or any of his other names, there was an accusation that Mooney blackmailed an adult to do lewd things with him online, or something to that effect. I've not heard any more on that topic since then, but again, I am in fact all ears.
Sorting all this out, I really didn't know what was going on. In the rant room, he stated that Starless was 18 as you can see, I have
Can you
added
do
you
your
there.
Can you do yourself a favor in the future?
Yeah.
Can you ask for proof?
I
have
wasn't
gotten
taking much any sides there, since I originally thought, because of what Spectrum said, him being 18, that was the
Look,
situation.
I'm just giving you advice, and I'm just asking you whether or not you're going to take it or not.
Yes.
Okay. Cool.
Okay, thank you.
So that you and everybody around you understands that Spectrum's a complete and utter moron, and you can't trust him about as far as an anvil can jump.
They're both morons, Leo.
Yeah, they're both.
Not you, Jerky.
All these fucking people are idiots, frankly.
This is
God,
just,
I hate Brony. So
Comment section down below. This is from Derpy. She's a VA in the community. She's from the room that tossed Spectrum. I'm just offering a third party's perspective. That was a wonderful note to end on. Spectrum, see you in the next video. And maybe the one after that. And maybe the one after that. In fact, let's just say we'll see you around. Mwah!